There we go. Call this meeting to order. Determine there's a quorum present. Commissioner Wardlaw, Commissioner Vasquez, Commissioner Nettleton, Commissioner Flores, and myself. We have a quorum. If y'all will please rise for the pledge of allegiance. Commissioner Wardlaw, if you don't mind.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank y'all. Approving minutes, we did have second. Have motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second, Commissioner Flores. All those in favor? Aye. If y'all don't mind, instead of citizens' comments, we're gonna go to item 18, and the reason I'm gonna do that is because when I go to citizens' comments, I'll go straight to item 12. Y'all okay with that? Motion to adjourn. Item 18, discussion possible action regarding the public defender's office in Indigent Defense Service in Valverde County. Yes, sir. You're up.
Judge, may I speak?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Commissioners, I did not speak to you all the last time this was on your agenda, though Judge Owens gave you the overview. My name is James McDermott. I'm the Chief Public Defender of the Far West Texas Regional Public Defender. We are based right now in Alpine, and we cover the 5 counties from Alpine up to Sierra Blanca, Hudspeth County. You may remember me, some of you, Commissioner Nettleton and Commissioner Wardlaw. I lived here from 2006 to 2010 with the previous public defender that y'all had back then. I was an employee there. I'm now the Chief Public Defender out of the Public Defender up there. Unlike what you experienced down here, up there we are a county-based program. We run through the county. We have an oversight board that has county judges on it. And so we are accountable to the county directly financially and policy-wise. When Judge Owens spoke to y'all about this, when this was on your agenda last spring, the agenda item that y'all had was to approve Judge Owens to sign off on a grant application to the Texas Indigent Defense Commission. Unlike what you had in the past, the Indigent Defense Commission now is paying a 2/3 funding sustainably for the life of a program, and that would go to a new program or new counties that joined an existing program. And so what you gave Judge Owens authority to do last spring was to sign off on a grant application to the TIDC. We were number 1 on their grant list to bring on Valverde County and Terrell County. And everything looked like it was a go. And I was very excited. I think Judge Owens was very excited. The county attorney was very excited. I worked with the judiciary here locally. Everything looked like it was ready to go to start in October. In June, right before they had their meeting in Austin, the Indigent Defense Commission called and told me they didn't have any money this year, and they were going to grant no new applications. And that was a late revelation to me. I was planning to go up to Austin for their meeting, and it was 7 days beforehand where I received that news, which was bad news for me personally, because I'm really invested in my history in Valverde and my relationships here. It was bad news for the county. I know that David Martinez and I spent hours on the phone in June and July. There was some lobbying efforts made with your senators and representatives, as well as a senator who used to be in the area and is outside but still very attached to your region. One of the things that was pretty disappointing to me was I know that the financial situation this county has been in as it relates to indigent defense. As you remember, it's a constitutional duty for courts to provide counsel and to pay for the counsel. The state of Texas has decided that the counties carry out that financial responsibility, not the state. This was an effort for me and your county attorney and your county judge to bring state money in to do that. The budget that I had proposed, that we'd gone through line item by line item with Judge Owens, was coming up somewhere between $450,000 and $550,000, with state funding of over $1 million to match that funding. And so I would be bringing $1 million, hopefully, to your community from state funds. That's not happening this year. We want that to happen. I've received assurances, and as somebody in your community just said to me about 5 minutes ago, words don't necessarily mean anything, as we have experienced. But that still is my priority. I've been told over and over again from the state, as they figure out their budget crisis at the Indigent Defense Commission, that we are number 1 on their list. And that
So what that means is we'll be the first ones to get cut.
I will speak personally and say that I was so angry in June about what was going on with promises and disappearance of money that I almost lost some of my professional relationships because of the anger that I was feeling on behalf of Valverde County. And so it was deeply hurtful to me how this had played out.
So once again, the state, with their unfunded mandates, have dumped it back on our lap.
Once again,
Taken the money out and used it for others, because the money was there in the beginning for the budget. And used it in other places and dumped us with $1 million a year unfunded mandate, is about what it amounts to now.
I'm not going to disagree with you, Commissioner.
And that's something that the taxpayers out there need to understand, that these unfunded mandates is the reason you have a tax rate of 0.499. They equate to a very large portion of that, these unfunded mandates like this. It's sad that they did that. I mean, I still think we need to move down the road of trying to put something together, but it's sad that they did that.
I'm not going to disagree with anything you said. This burden is on the county right now. I've spoken this afternoon with your auditor. I've been working with the county attorney. I believe that the budget that with adjustments, normal cost adjustments that would come with the year, the budget that we had proposed to Austin is going to more or less be the same budget that we would propose unless there was some radical change in your numbers. Practically on the ground, what we had proposed was to cover all of your adult criminal cases, not juveniles, and not the Operation Lone Star cases. Those cases are right now being covered 100% by the state through a different grant process, and we are not going to sub
That's
in.
where your indigent defense money went.
So that's a different.
No, that's still where it went.
So we're not going to step in and cover at 1/3. We're not going to step in and cover 67% what you're getting covered at 100%.
And I guess the reason for the visit, and I'm not trying to cut you short.
Yes, sir.
A lot.
You've got a crowd here. I want to cut myself short.
But I guess the reason for the visit is that we'd had a conversation in open court that we might be looking at trying to start our own.
Right.
And it's not a good idea right now.
So one of the things that the Indigent Defense Commission says is one of their policies is that if a county has its own program that they start on their own, that they will not come in after the fact and start paying as part of their rural grant system.
So bottom line is we need to continue with what we're doing and then reapply.
That's correct. What I know, and I've talked with the auditor, I think what you need to do this year is continue with what you're doing. I know that what you've had for the last couple of months is continual revisions to your budget based on expenditures. And that's been, I think, a hard thing for the Commissioners Court to have to swallow, is watching those things come up and knowing that there's something maybe within reach that could help solve that problem. But I am asking you to wait for a year. You could say to my board, we would like to come on anyways and self-pay, but I don't think it's in your financial interest to do so. You'd be walking away from, a decade of millions of dollars.
I'm assuming, since the legislators are going into session for a budget next year, y'all will be lobbying to refund this program?
Yes, and I will tell you this. The legislature cares more about county judges and county commissioners than they do about me.
Oh, no, I think
So-
you're dead wrong there.
If you think you're low,
They've proven to us over the last 4 years that they don't have a lot of respect for county commissioners and county judges.
if you think you're low on the list, I can promise you chief public defenders are lower. But I do think there is an effort from people that we have been in contact with to make sure the county judges where I live right now will be part of the lobbying effort to increase funding. I'll be working with Mr. Martinez to see if Judge Owens would also be able to testify during the budget hearings or somebody representing the county. I think this is desperately needed for your county. I am doing everything I can to support this process and bring it home.
Well, at the end of the day, I mean, we'll wait. I mean, I think the court will wait and then see if we can get funding. If we need to go testify, we'll go testify. Because it would be a savings of $350,000 to $400,000 if we could get the money compared to what we have in our budget this year.
And what would also be happening is that state money would be coming in here.
$400 to $500 would be our part. We have $850,000. Yeah.
How much money do we have set aside?
We have $850, but it's already set aside.
I know that, I mean, I'm just saying, get this straight out. Okay. So how much do we need to survive for the rest of the year? I mean.
No. The next fiscal year that we went into, this court passed the budget with $850,000 already in it, which was a big increase compared to what we had
The previous
this fiscal year. But we kept adding money for the last 3 months.
What I think that from my office, and I'll address that if you. My office was here at your misdemeanor court this morning, and one of the things that we saw, which we've been told for a year, is that a docket that should have taken an hour and a half or 2 hours long took 6 hours, and it takes 6 hours because you've got lawyers coming from all different directions, going in all different directions, and the result of that is that your cases don't move.
Well, and I think the court probably agrees, and that's how come they gave us the authority to look into it, was that we needed to do something else.
That's right. I think what your auditor was going to say, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Of the $800 and some thousand, there are other expenses that would not be displaced by my budget. The savings would come both from the speed of cases, the efficiency.
I liked it a lot better when you said that it was going to cost us $45.
I know.
I could have just stopped.
I like to be honest, and also your county auditor was jumping in his seat.
I didn't mean that. So there's essentially this 500 is going to turn into $1 million in services for the risk.
$1.5 million.
$1.5 million services, but essentially we're still going to be paying approximately out the 800 that we're currently paying. But services will expand greatly to the citizen.
And your cases will move faster, which means your courts will move more efficiently. And that's what we'll be doing for basically more or less.
I'm just looking at you. I'm not saying nothing.
Oh, Judge, so it's off the table to create a department,
Well,
defenders?
and that's one of the reasons that everybody wanted to come to talk to us, was that it would be our benefit to wait to check and see if we can apply for funds versus trying to open up our own department. And then we don't really have enough funds to fund it completely. And at that point, we really can't go out and ask for more money.
Right. So when I spoke to the auditor, the money that we would be displacing would be about $500,000 in your current budget. And we would be bringing the staffing we think that is needed based on pretty standard caseload estimates would be an office that would cost about $1.5 million. You would get that other $1 million from the state to pay for that. And that would increase, that was part of what would benefit your system. That would also be money from the state that would be coming and be spent here because we would have employees here. The employees wouldn't live in Alpine. So that would be.
So it's just a win-win.
It's a win in multiple different directions, I think.
There's not really any action that needs to be taken, but I did want y'all to listen to that, and that way we don't jump off and try to go create something for now.
That's my suggestion, Judge.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any questions?
No.
All right. Thank you, sir.
They have excused.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Have a good day. All right. We're going to go to item 6, citizens' comment. Maria Lucero. Where's she at? Please. I'm just gonna run down the list here in no particular order. I'm just gonna be grabbing them, so. You're up.
Good evening, Judge Owens and County Commissioners. My name is Luzli Serio, and I'm a leader with the border organization. Tonight, I'm asking this, of the court, that you continue to hold meetings in the evenings, because of the reasons people like me, I go to the doctor mostly in the mornings, and I have time in the afternoon, so we'd like for you to keep it in the afternoon also. It's good also in the morning. I know you've been having it twice. And, but that's mostly what I wanted, because I like to know what's happening in my court. I know most of you have seen me here before, but, that's what I'm asking today, to keep the meetings in the afternoon for us. Would you please? Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Spencer, C.J. Spencer, did I have that right?
Yes, sir.
He was shaking his head, no. It's okay.
My name is C.J. Spencer. I'm a resident of Sail Point subdivision, precinct 4. And we came home the other day to a notice on our dumpster that the county is going to no longer pay for our trash removal. The residents of Sail Point are fed up. I did a little dive through our Val Verde CAD. Just county taxes, we pay just a tick shy of $30,000 a year. We get zero in return for that. Our roads look like the surface of the moon. We can't get you to negotiate a good faith with a ranch owner to fix our public road on a private easement. I can count on one hand, since I've lived out there 2006, how many times I've seen a county crew working on our subdivision roads. They're horrible. Now we can't even get our dumpster? Gonna take that away from us too? I'm big on return on investment. I was a businessman, owned my own business for over 20 years. First thing I always looked at was return on investment. We're getting zero and we're tired of it. I'll put you all on notice. I'm gonna take a deep dive into Precinct 4's budget. I mean, I see a wrapped van. How it costs $2,000? $2,000 worth of wrap on a van. 50 grand for a fence? 50 grand to put rock on the outside of a building? We can get a freaking dumpster? Sorry, I don't buy it. First responsibility of the county commissioners is we the people. How about giving us a little bit back on what we invest in? 30 grand, we get zip. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Reyes? Or, no, I'm sorry, Leonel Reyes. I'm just so used to it. Ms. Reyes, yeah.
Good evening, Judge, County Commissioners. Thank you for letting me speak here real quick. Right now, I'm just going to voice my opinion. I am a resident of the county, live on Pike Road. As far as these meetings, updating on the meetings, I would request that you keep the status quo, one in the morning, one in the evening. That way, as you see here, we got a full gallery. At least, a lot of people can make the evening rounds, maybe not half as many, or some would make the morning rounds as well. Right now, as far as I'm concerned, many times I make the evenings more so than the daytimes, but there are occasions where I'm here also watching you during the morning round. So just going to ask that you keep the status quo. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Reyes, you're next. Lori Reyes.
Good evening, Lori Reyes. I, again, would like to ask you to have all of the meetings in the evening, but at the very least, please keep them morning and evening alternating. As you can tell, much better attendance in the evening, and that, in general, has happened throughout the past year. So I would appreciate it if at the very least they're kept every other, but preferably all evenings. Thank you.
Thank you. Patricia? Grace?
My name is Patricia Grace, and I would like to say to the court that I agree with the changing of the time for Commissioners' Court meetings from the morning to the evening. It is very important in a democracy that we have as much participation in the democratic process as possible. This is what makes our government the best in the world and very unique from the rest of the world. Changing the meeting time to the evenings, even though it may be inconvenient for some, will allow many more of your constituents to show up and participate, which is good for everyone. Even if the citizens of this county do not have an obvious agenda, like those of us who live on Las Brisas, it is still important that they have the opportunity to attend and participate. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Jake?
Good evening, Judge Owens and County Commissioners, and Vasquez. I wanted to express my support as well for holding the meetings in the evenings. As public servants, the meetings should be at public meetings. They should be available at the times most convenient to the most citizens. And so I support meetings in the evenings as well. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yasmina Zapata? Don't forget that one.
Good evening, Judge Owens and County Commissioner. My name is Jasmina Zapata, and I'm a leader of the border organization in Moreno Valley Subdivision. I work for the high school, and my hours are from 7:30 to 4. So I do agree for the meetings to be in the evening so we can attend. We have a lot of issues, and one for myself is the water in Moreno Valley. So I do agree for them to stay in the evening.
Thank you, ma'am. Paula Smith? Paula? Paula.
Hello, my name is Paula Smith, and I'm going to try not to shake this time while I'm up here. But anyway, I'm here today to ask you all to continue to hold the county commissioner meetings in the evenings as you have been doing. The working class citizens who may want to participate will not be able to attend without taking time off of work, which may be difficult for some people. They may not participate now, but hold on, sorry. I knew this was going to happen.
It's okay. It's all right. Take your time.
Okay. They may not participate now because they don't have an issue, but one may arise in the future. Then they don't have an opportunity to inform the county court without taking time off of work. And it is my opinion that it is a great, what was I trying to say? It is my opinion that it is important, an important part of government to make meetings available to all citizens, not only the ones that can make it in the mornings. So, and then on another subject, I was gone for a month or so, and I want to say thank you. I heard through the grapevine that you all may have allocated some funds for the rural fire department, which is what I had come here in the very first place to talk to you about. So if you can continue finding money for that, we would definitely appreciate it, because it definitely is growing out there on the north side of town. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Vallejo, B?
Good evening, Judge. Good evening, Commissioners. First of all, I want to thank you for all that you're doing for elderly in our community, for our disabled, and for our veterans. We still need some services, but you all are pulling through, and I appreciate that. The second thing is, I would like to ask you to please continue to hold your meetings in the evening. They seem to be a little bit more convenient for some of us. The third thing that I want to bring up is the appraisal district. We're dependent on the Val Verde County taxpayer to finance the support. However, we, the taxpayers, end up having a losing uphill battle with the Val Verde County Appraisal District every year. This office needs to tighten their belt, just like all the other departments in our county. Taxpayers have been troubled since the raise of the valuations of land to the 30,000. There were a couple of properties that did not go up to 30,000, but the majority of them did. And that has really affected our elderly community, our retired community. Some of our disabled and veterans have been able to stay free of that, but overall, everyone is struggling with that. Taxpayers have to go and protest the valuations every year. This is very stressful. When you're on a set income, there's not enough money to go to many places. When you're ill, there's not enough money. I mean, Medicare is changing its rules, and now a lot of people have to pay copays, and it's not a cheap thing. So taxes are really bearing down on those homeowners and property owners. A lot of people have to work 2 jobs just to make ends meet. And if we have to do it as taxpayers, we expect you to do it also for us, because you're using our money. And we want you to use it effectively and efficiently to the best of our interests. All right, so why do we have to support an organization that cannot say no to the comptroller's office? Why do we even have a board? I mean, do we even need one if we're not going to say no to the comptroller's office? We are a unique county. We cannot be compared to Behar. We cannot be compared to Maverick. We cannot be compared to other counties in the state. We are unique. Our economy does not lend itself. We're paying, an average of $10 per hour to our workers. If we can bring in some federal and state jobs, maybe things will change. But at this point in time, it's basically a retirement community. And we need to tighten our belts. We, as a unique community, cannot continue on this route, because we're going to find that people are going to lose their homes and lose their properties because they just simply cannot pay their taxes. They cannot make home repairs. They cannot even afford home insurance. And we really need to consider that. I don't know what the county can do. I don't know what the appraisal district can do, but I do know that someone has to do something, because this is just an endless pit hole that we're going into. And a lot of us in the next couple of years are not going to be able to do anything with our properties. We are not even going to be able to sell them, because we're not going to be able to pay the taxes on those sales. So I'm asking you to please tighten your belt. Tighten everyone's belt. And let's work. If we have to do it as taxpayers, we expect all of our government officials to do the same thing. The other thing is that we need to think about the employees. They're at the bottom of the totem pole. They're not getting that much of a raise. And if they get anything, it needs to be something that they can actually continue to work with the county and not hold another job somewhere. I mean, I know of so many county employees that work here. They go somewhere else to work just because they cannot make ends meet, because they are at the bottom of the totem pole. So we need to start considering some of those things for our employees so that we can keep them. And we need to be very careful, because we're getting to a point where everyone is trying to dictate and they're expecting us to follow. And we cannot continue down that road. So please, think about what you do. Think about spending our money. And just think about tightening the belt on everything and everything that we do and buy. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Is it Melinda Ponce? Your handwriting's like mine. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Melinda Ponce. I'm leader of the board organization and member of the hospital association. Commissioner Vasquez, as you know, I belong to your precinct, and I would appreciate this court keeping at least one meeting in the evening, making it easier for me to attend. Thank you.
I think that's it, right?
You want it?
Sandra Fuentes. Ms. Fuentes.
Thank you so much, Judge Owens, and good evening, Commissioners. My name is Sandra Fuentes. I'm co-chair of the board organization. And I'm not too sure what else I can add to what people before me already stated. They stated it very well. Other than I wanted to take the liberty, I looked up your mission. what is the mission statement for Valverde County, and it said this: our mission is to listen attentively to constituents, to truly understand their needs and provide the best solution with a sense of warmth, friendliness, and good spirit. So I think you've done that. I think you have tended, you have, huh?
Who wrote that?
I don't know, someone wrote that, but I'm reading it to you. It's shame on you if you don't know what your mission statement is. All right, so.
No, I looked over there, did you write that?
All right. And I think that James McDermott pointed something out. You have a crowd tonight. And for those of you from the Commissioners Court that think that there's more people in the morning, I'm gonna say, you're wrong. There's more people in the evening. In fact, they're standing by the hallway, okay? They couldn't get in. And I didn't hear anyone get up and say they wanted morning meetings. So we are very respectfully asking the court, at the very least, we'd love to have the 2 meetings in the evening, but the very least, do what your mission statement says and provide the best solution for the constituents, not for the commissioners, not for the county judge, not for the county clerk, for the constituents. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Very passionate. And we will go to item 12. Discussion and possible action to set Commissioners Court meetings and dates. I'd rather have them all in the morning, not have to have anything in the afternoon. That's just my thought.
I'll make a motion, Judge, that we, conduct our meetings this coming year in the mornings.
What day, what time?
Well, every regular meeting.
The next meeting would be October 9th, at 9 o'clock, would be the next meeting, and then continue every other week.
Second that motion, Judge.
I have a motion, Commissioner Flores, second, Commissioner Wardlaw. And just so I don't get completely confused here, Commissioner Vasquez, how do you vote?
I'll vote against that, Judge.
Okay. Commissioner Middleton.
Since I'm not gonna be here, Fernando's gonna be here, when do you want the meeting?
Really?
Yeah, really.
Okay. So, I was asked this question at a community candidate forum several months ago. This is just my opinion. At the end of the day, it's still your vote, whatever you decide. All right. So, and whatever the court decides with. Okay, my opinion as a free citizen of Precinct 3.
Before you give your decision, and I told you when we had this conversation the other day, I don't want to be the deciding vote. Right? There's a conversation when you had 2 days ago. Whenever you come.
You are going to be.
I am, but I also did tell you that if I was the deciding vote, that I would vote to keep the meetings the way they are. Right? And you have wait a minute, because it ain't happened yet. I would rather have them, and I think Commissioner Flores and Commissioner Wardlaw show a lot of fortitude, a lot of guts to be able to do this and make a second and make a motion and a second. And I told you when you came by that it takes a lot to show up. And people are going to say, well, you got elected, you need to show up. Yeah, okay. In 2 years, we get to run again. If you don't want me here, vote against me. But you know how I'm going to vote if his goes the other way.
So it's okay for me to talk now?
It is.
Okay. So I was asked this question, and I know some people want all morning. Some people want all in the evening. I thought that the compromise we had going was good. 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening. You could have the first one in the evening, second one in the morning, flip-flop or whatever. I know you all may have conflicts, and if you can work around that, but what I think is that, like one of the gentlemen said, we the people, this is our house, and we need access to it, because we have 2 things to do. One is to ask for redress of grievances. That's what your citizens' comment is. We should have the right to petition our government for redress. And if we're not available to come, we're denied that right. Second issue is we have the right to come.
He's changing my mind.
We have the right to come and see you govern in our name. And that's what all these people are doing. They're watching you. How are you governing in their name? Are you following what you set out to do? So for those two very valuable reasons, we need access. Even though we don't come and take it on every occasion. You know, like the Second Amendment, you have the right to bear arms, but that doesn't mean you carry a gun every day. We have the right to come and see you govern in our name. We may not come every meeting, but we have the right and availability to come and see you. So for those two reasons, I would ask that at least one of them be done in the afternoon or the evening so that we, the people, can come and watch. Thank you.
Yeah, I just changed. You gonna vote, yeah, you gonna vote against it? Okay, my vote is, to vote to keep the meetings in the morning. Motion passes 3-2. Okay.
So we ask what?
I have an opinion. I gave my opinion. I thought I was gonna go with it after his speech. You know, again, I run again in 2 years, so I don't want me to vote against me. All right? The motion carries, to move the meetings in the morning, starting October 9th.
On Wednesday, we stand on Wednesdays, I'm assuming.
Yes, uh-huh. Yeah, October 9th is on a Wednesday. Motion carries, 3-2. All right. Item 7, approving monthly bills from elected officials. Have a motion, Commissioner Flores, second, Commissioner Vasquez. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. We did item 12, item 18. I don't know why I got.
Yeah, item 8.
Yeah, but I did, I don't know why I did that.
We did.
I have 1 second. Yeah, we did 18, but I have, yeah, never mind. It was judge's comments. We're good. Item 8, approving bills for payment.
Second.
Have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second, Commissioner Flores. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 9, discussion and possible action to approve. Before we go to item 9, you're sitting here. Now, you won't have to sit through the rest of it. If y'all don't mind, we're going to go to item 13. Discussion possible action to approve. I have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second, Commissioner Vasquez. On this one here, you know, yeah, you can. Please don't be presenting. So far you're doing good. I was going to vote against it. I really was, and we've had this conversation. I just don't think that because of the raises that you're giving, that should be the reason to vote against it. But, you know, we've had other conversations with other things that I believe that are wrong. But in saying that, the raises that y'all are giving, y'all are 11.5, you know, about 11.5%, 2 of them, a couple of them are about 7%, the rest of them are under 4%. And I get, you know, the conversation that was had 2 weeks ago. The bottom line is you're going to have to give more money in order to keep. And the raises are not out of line, right? So I do believe, though, that some of the comments that were made, you know, y'all's hands are tied. There isn't a whole lot you can do. I will just, it's really difficult when you get a phone call from an individual that's crying that their appraised values went up. And the reason that they went up is because the house down the street, they got new homes and they went up. And it's real hard for me to justify that when the house they're living in is 50 some odd years old. You know, so I know that y'all are doing the best you can, but again, it's really difficult to get the phone calls from those individuals. And yeah, if y'all would just, you know, pay a little bit more attention, I'd greatly appreciate it. All right?
I'd like to make a comment, Judge, before we vote.
Yes, sir.
The only thing I would ask is that next year's budget, I understand you need to keep your employees, but as some people in this room said, y'all really need to start cutting. Every year, y'all keep part of the money that we send y'all for future legal stuff. That's taxpayers' money. The problem was created, the reason we have the legal problem, it was created not by you, but, and I think y'all need to do a better job of explaining to the taxpayers the process and the mandates y'all have from the state. I don't think most taxpayers understand that the judge is right. Your hands are tied in a lot of cases. Not all cases, but in a lot of cases. So I would like to see y'all do a little bit better. And please, I'm not going to be here, but please don't come back with this next year. I would hope at that point, then y'all get shut down.
Is there any other comments? I have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Vasquez. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you. Item 9, discussion possible action to approve auditor. Second. I have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Flores. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 10, discussion possible action following budget adjustments. Community Center, $150 to travel and training from available appropriations. There's $643 in his fuel.
Okay, fuel, got it.
Okay with that?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Motion to move $150 out of fuel. Second. Motion myself, and a second Commissioner Flores. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. B, District Attorney, transfer $926.63 from travel and training to office. I have a motion, Commissioner Vasquez. Do I have a second? Second. Second, Commissioner Flores. All those in favor?
I'm going to vote against this, Judge.
Okay.
We had this conversation at the last meeting about these transfers, and they're sitting there with a lot of extra money in other places. So I'm going to vote against it.
Okay. I have a motion, Commissioner Vasquez, second, Commissioner Flores. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-1. C, IT transfer $49,000 from general capital, 63rd, 83rd to IT department capital for cameras. Project at the library. If y'all want to table this, I can explain to y'all in executive session.
Second.
All right. Your table, Commissioner Vasquez, second, Commissioner Flores. All those in favor?
All right.
Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Tabling 10C. Item D, IT transfer $49,850 from general capital, 63rd, 83rd to IT department capital.
Want to table this?
Is there a motion to approve?
You want to approve it or table it?
No, this one we can approve.
Motion to
approve. Second. I have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second, Commissioner Flores. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you. Item 11, there's no treasurer's report, no action needed. Item 12, we took that action. Item 13, we've done that. Item 14, discussion possible action to approve issuance of a county cell phone. And we actually have this on another item, so we can approve this one and leave the other one alone. Second. I have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second, Commissioner Flores. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Just a little bit of history on that one. We had a meeting with Ms. Garcia, with Loli, and Ms. Chapoy's office. I think Ms. Chapoy was there too, right? I think your assistant was there on that one. We went over some of the maps, and during that process to see how we could better line of communication. Instead of trying to call, if you're in office, you can call 13 or 18 or whatever and get to the voter registrar. But if you're out and about, that phone goes to the tax office, and then it's going to be transferred to get to the voter registrar. So with this, the voter registrar actually has a cell phone. And,
Will the voter registrar be there on election day?
The office will be open.
No, will they be at the polling places?
Oh, no, not at the polling place. That's why we said we'd take a cell phone, because we're gonna be busy with taxes, and we usually take care of the people at the counter.
Okay, that's fine.
so she will, this would
If it's a
help.
cell phone, we'll answer.
Mhm. And during business hours, they'll have it. Ms. Garcia also said that, you know, she'll, if for some reason, the Rotary Register, which we had, that this past Friday, was out, that she would have it in order to help with the ballots and everything that are coming in. All those in favor? Aye. 5-0. 15, discussion, 15, discussion possible action, renew an interlocal agreement between the city of Del Rio, Valley County. Second. Have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Flores, all those in favor? Aye. This other one, if y'all don't mind, table it till that's available. Have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, did you second? I'll second. Thank you, sir. Have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Flores, to table, all those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries. Item 17, there was a let me just read it. Discussion possible renew an agreement for autopsy services with Wade County and authorized county judge to sign the contract. We, pardon
Got
me?
everything straightened out.
No, we're still looking at it. and
Motion to
we-
approve pending county attorney's, review.
I have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second. Commissioner Wardlaw, all those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 18 we've already done. Item 19, discussion possible act to request amendment number 2 to Colonia SHC contract 7220043 and authorize county judge to sign. Second. I have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Flores, all those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 20, discussion possible action on accepting donation to San Antonio Shoemaker for shoes.
Motion to approve, Judge. I have a question. Commissioner Vasquez, how many pairs are we talking?
54 pairs, and they'll be accepted them, and they'll be some for the directed, some for the women's shelters, and the rest for precinct 2, the elderly people.
Okay.
54 pairs total.
All right, I have a motion, Commissioner Flores, second Commissioner Nettleton.
So how many are going to the women's shelter?
Evenly split between precinct 2 and,
Okay, well, you're not gonna be able to do that because I don't know how many people are there. There's not that many people there.
well,
So,
right,
at the end of the
Judge,
day-
I know there's not many people, but whenever people come in other words, they're good for the elderly people, whoever comes in.
Okay, so I guess what I'm saying is, let's give to the shelter and let's not let them sit. So if you can give them out, give them out.
No, I should go, Judge.
Have a motion, Commissioner Flores, second Commissioner Nettleton, all those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Discussion possible action on late mailing for 2024, tax statement. I asked Ms. Garcia to put this on. We have a contract with the city that they're supposed to, give us a tax rate by
Adopt by September 15th.
September 15th. They adopted it yesterday.
Last night. Mhm.
So as soon as we get
I
that.
got it today.
Okay.
So then after I get that, I send all the tax rates to the appraisal district, and they run a roll that's a freeze, refreeze, and that's for all the over 65 that are frozen. And when, she told me today that she would probably have it by Friday if there was no problems.
Okay,
So then we start with the software, and then they run their levy of everything that has to be completed there, maybe another week, and then we'll go to the printers, and then.
So you're looking 2 weeks into October,
Mhm.
right?
You will have them out before the end of October.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so.
I'm hoping
it brings
before
up-
the holiday.
It brings up another question,
Mhm.
that within that contract, they're supposed to give us, they're supposed to have it by the 15th of September.
Mhm.
Within that contract, it says if they don't, bottom line is we could send out tax statements, and then whatever it costs to send out theirs, they have to pay us.
Mhm.
Is that correct?
Right. But
So,
we have it now, so we should get it all on one statement.
yeah, my deal is though that I don't want to wait no more. So if we're waiting on the city, or anybody, it don't matter, and I'm not going to rush it, the city just so happens at this time it's them.
You're right.
Why would I wait if we can send out a tax statement like we always do? And because we offer a 3, 2, 1
Right.
deduction. And now for several years, we've had to adjust that, sort of melt that all the way through. So why can't we, if we made a motion to send out our tax statements in a timely manner, not have to wait for the other entities, and if we have to send out another tax statement, because this contract allows it to charge them, why don't we do it? You okay with that? You okay with that? I mean, because we're waiting, and it's just not fair. And again, I'm not trying to throw rocks at the city. We all have our own issues. But it would seem like people that are wanting to pay and get that, it would only make sense, and we're not here trying to lose money, trying to shift the percentages that way that people want to come pay, which we've done that a couple of years.
Yes.
I'll make a motion that,
Second. There you go.
I'll make a motion that.
Right now, we have it all.
No, I
so-
understand, but this is
For future.
If you're gonna run into this problem
Yeah.
next year.
Hopefully not.
I will make a motion that our tax statements are sent out when October 1st. If everybody else has supplied it within the means of their contracts, they go with us. If not, they go out when they get theirs and they pay whatever the shipping cost is, the mailing cost.
Okay.
I'm second.
I'll second.
And then- I have a motion, Commissioner Middleton, second Commissioner Wardlaw. All those in favor? Aye. Are we entertaining you? Because you're sitting there laughing.
I'm just holding my thoughts and my words.
Okay, well, that's good. 'Cause
Yeah, because I want to hear what.
I did mine last night. Item 22, discussion possible action to approve the purchase of a 16-foot speed.
Second.
Motion, Commissioner Middleton, second Commissioner Flores. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 23, discussion possible action to approve the addition of a new hotspot.
Second.
And motion, Commissioner Middleton, second Commissioner Flores. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 24, discussion possible action. I have a motion, Commissioner Vasquez, second Commissioner Middleton. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 25, discussion possible action to approve spectrum.
Second.
Motion, Commissioner Middleton, second Commissioner Vasquez. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 26.
Second.
Motion, Commissioner Middleton, second Commissioner Vasquez. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Discussion possible action to ratify bid solicitation for Precinct 1 new warehouse building.
Motion to approve.
Commissioner Wardlaw with a motion.
Second.
Second Commissioner Flores. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 28, discussion possible action to discuss awarding a contract bid 2429, low water crossing at Lawson Lane located Precinct 2, and authorize county judge to sign the contract upon review by county attorney funding Precinct 2 ARPA money.
Judge, I'll make a motion to award the alternate bid to Raptor Art Construction, who was the lowest bidder on this,
Okay, I have a motion, Commissioner Vasquez, second Commissioner Middleton. And probably a little bit of explanation on this. I guess that you came in, you've been working on it, right? We had some funding, had over $9 million worth of funding through ARPA. This project right here is over 300 some odd thousand, closer to 4 probably.
330.
330.
330.
Okay. It will be along Lawson Lane. There's a ditch there, along Lawson. And then there's a low water crossing, on Lawson. We have a couple items with Carlos to discuss flooding in that area. So if we can tie all the pieces together, it's something also that the city's been talking about. But this is a very big part of the flooding issue there in that area. I have a motion, Commissioner Vasquez, second Commissioner Middleton. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 29, discussion possible action to approve change order 2020.
Second.
Motion, Commissioner Middleton, second Commissioner Flores. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 30, discussion possible action to award.
Second.
Motion, Commissioner Middleton, second Commissioner Wardlaw. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 31, discussion possible action to award annual commodity contract for rebid of fuel service. I'm going to read this one out. Fuel service is an authorized county judge to sign contract. You have a couple of vendors.
We have two bids that came in. One was Pico Propane, and the other one was Maxi Energy Company.
Who's the lowest bidder?
Maxi, by 30 cents per gallon.
And where are they from?
They're out of Uvalde.
The only thing that I'm concerned with is delivery time.
He said they can.
In an emergency situation, if we need fuel, can they supply it?
He said they're always delivering on the daily over here to this area.
I wanna make sure. I'm not worried about the day-to-day operation. I'm worried about in the event we have an emergency and we need fuel at 3 o'clock in the morning. Are we gonna be able to get it?
That's the question.
Well,
I'm gonna ask
but
you.
3 in the morning, it never really happens. I mean, it's, deliveries are 8 hours.
You could approve either one, or you could approve them both.
Yeah. And I'm gonna be real honest with you. When we did the snow deal and if we needed, fuel, it's gonna be real hard to come from Uvalde if it's snowing.
Yes.
So if we approve both, y'all could order, and if we get into some type of bind, we can order from the other one. Does that make sense?
David, you said we could approve both.
Are y'all okay with that?
Yeah.
I mean, you can, okay, sure.
I just had a concern, is that what would include the fuel for the sheriff's office?
It's fuel for all county, departments.
Now, my second question is a lot of these tanks that we have belong to Pico, they do not belong to Valverde County.
I've got a comment on Sheriff's,
So we may have an issue.
Sheriff, we're gonna change all your vehicles to electric vehicles.
We could go electric.
Well, I mean, it's gonna be a problem. These are not our fuel tanks. In most
Yeah, that's
cases,
true.
they do not belong to us. So is it gonna force us to purchase our own fuel tanks?
Pick and choose. Why don't we approve both? And then we can go through the process. If they don't have a tank, do have a tank. We can figure that out. But if nothing else, we can get this done and we're not sitting next year, not with nobody.
Exactly.
That's fair, Judge.
They pick those up, Bo?
If they don't have a contract,
If
they
they don't
pick
have
them
a
up.
contract, they probably will.
So somebody needs to make a motion.
I'll make a motion
Approve
to, approve both of them, Judge.
Second.
Okay, that'll work. Jesus Christ.
Pending county attorney review.
And county attorney review, that's right.
Okay. Forgot where I was at. Commissioner Vasquez made a motion and Commissioner Nettleton second. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Item 32, discussion possible action to approve to declare the following items surplus.
Motion to approve is presented.
Second.
Commissioner Nettleton gave a motion, Commissioner Vasquez second. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 33, discussion possible approving 2 invoices the following. Change order number 2 for $16,512 and change order number 3 for $1,452 with regards to community center expansion.
Motion to approve, Judge.
Motion Commissioner Flores, second. Did you do that second? Commissioner Wardle. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Next, right. Item 34, discussion possible act to our county judge sign first amendment to lease between U.S. Customs and Border Protection.
What's this about?
The tower, we'd already approved a lease with them, them putting up a portable tower. If you're on SL 79 and you take SL 79 going to the west gate, we'd approved the lease on the right-hand side. All they're gonna do is move it 30, 40 feet over to one side.
Okay.
That's it. It's in the same area. They just wanted to move it. The discussion that we had the last time was that they still needed to get with the base to make sure it wasn't gonna interfere. And they'd already done that, so I'm sure that they'll do it again on this one.
Second that motion.
Okay. Where am I at? Have a motion, Commissioner Flores, second Commissioner Vasquez. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 35, discussion possible action authorizing county judge to sign defense.
Second. won't even make you read it.
I have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Vasquez. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. This one here,
I got
discussion.
problems with this one.
Well, discussion of possible action on an MOU with the city of Del Rio for the usage of a drone. The drone that we would be using would be theirs, not ours.
Motion approved then, Judge.
You can grab theirs, I don't care.
And we'll,
Are you gonna fly it or what?
yes. Let me get a motion in a second, and we'll have a discussion.
Sorry, I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion, Commissioner Flores, second Commissioner Nettleton. The drone that we have, when he flies it, takes elevations, and they're good elevations as long as the land is clear. The drone that the city has, even though they have nobody to fly it, it's laser, and it'll actually shoot through the trees. And a little bit later on the next on the next item, you're gonna see why we're gonna end up needing the drone. Okay, there's a.
Borrowing ours.
No. They're borrowing problems. We have a motion, Commissioner Flores, second Commissioner Nettleton. All those in favor? Aye. Item 37, discussion possible action on flooding issues with precinct 2. We're looking, and I say we, Commissioner Vasquez, we've had meetings with the city, last week, and there's an area, that ain't the one I want. Where's yours? Well, let's do that one. Yeah, while you're there. The drone is gonna be flying. Jesus Christ.
You wanna Google it?
Yeah, probably better. The drone would be flying in this area here. This red area here, it's between Cedric Gonzalez, which is not Cedric Gonzalez, our county court at all, but the board named Cedric Gonzalez. So this property line is here with Blanca Mar, development. It'll be flying from here all this area because we're concerned about the elevations and that the FEMA map is wrong. So, this is where we'll be flying. Right in here is where, this is Lawson, so what we just approved on his bid was to do the ditch from here all the way to the low water crossing, which is at apartments. The tanks, the 2 tanks, can you bring that up?
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Did y'all want to see what I said, or y'all okay?
I would like to see it.
Okay, take me back.
Well, then don't ask me, you're
This area right here, we approved the drum from right here, this way to Lawson. All this area here, we're concerned that the FEMA maps are wrong. So in order to calculate and to figure out exactly where the water runs, he's gonna fly the drone, and the drone actually gives us elevations, and gives us topos of the property. What Commissioner Vasquez and the approval that he got right now, what he's doing is to go from right here to here with a ditch. There's already a ditch along Lawson and be concreted, and then there's a low water crossing here that's about 60 foot, to get the water, all this water here to go into the, to get to the ditch that you see there that the city of Boone should improve. Go to the next one. All this ties in, and the only reason that we're doing this and actually having a conversation with this is the city did this last go around. And until there's 2 tanks up on the top. We were told last week about 200 acres is what we could hold without getting into water law, something with water law and this and that, which really doesn't make sense to me for the simple reason that when we have an event, whether you have water rights or not to water on Senegas Creek and 2 days of events on. But we were told 200 acre feet. The area that is laid out is what y'all had laid out during your sports complex. I talked to Frank today. He said that he might want to tweak it a little bit. I don't know what that means. But this is the first 200 acres. That'll hold 200 acre feet of water. You got an elevation here of 1050, which is the same as this over here. It'll go over the spillway,
And then over here, it'll hold another 165 acre feet of water. The spillways here, it'll either go over if it gets really flooded, but then in there we'll need to put, like we talked about, some box culverts to release this water slowly.
Judge, there is a FEMA map in place in that area, right?
There is.
Is there gonna be any changes done to that FEMA map?
Yes.
And who's gonna do that?
We're gonna work on that because we're the floodplain manager in the county.
But not the city?
No, all this area right here is outside the city limits, not right here.
Okay, so they only control what's inside the city limits.
They're gonna help us. They've actually got a contract with a company called ICE, which we met with 3 weeks ago, right? So ICE actually has a contract right now. They came up with a smaller pond here. I personally didn't like it. I asked Carlos to draw something like this, because we need to hold as much water as we can. All right? None of this works. The Mondragon property, the 20 acres that they got a ditch across, and then the 60 acres that they started to put a ditch across, doesn't work. If we can begin the process up on top and then tie all this together, the water comes out of here before it gets to Sergio Gonzalez's property. We're not gonna change any topography, anything having to do below that. That way the water's gonna go where it's going, goes either through the hedges or wherever it goes is gonna go. And then when it gets to Happy, Ohio, the majority of the water ends up crossing Lawson at the low water crossing would be the plan. Mondragon, the ditch that he did, he's created a problem for us right now, and they're gonna have to fix that. The city's gonna have to deal with them. And then the city's already knows that because we do the low water crossing at Lawson, that on Chapman, their culverts at Chapman are not big enough to handle the water. And that's one of the reasons that we get a lot of flooding up top. They're already gonna deal with the issues there. We've talked about a lot with the city ever since since you came in, and then we did it since 2011. We also visited this water here. When it gets done, it ends up in Senegas, which it's amazing. But if we do this, do the low water crossing, fix Chapman, Mondragon builds a bigger retention system on the 60 acres because of his water, and then the city goes in there and builds another retention system probably behind Home Depot, the property that they own there. We should be better. The issue that we're gonna have, all this is gonna help you at the end of the day too, in precinct 4, before it gets to Senegas. The other deal was in Senegas, we're fixing to drop a lot of money. We're dropping a lot of money in Senegas Road. Right now? No. No, we are. We're gonna drop $6 million. The issue with that is that we need to help with the flooding, and then the city needs to come back and do the main trunk line. And this would help also when they do the main trunk line to help with some of the flooding along the area where this water goes. The other thing that we did talk about was a water line in Senegas. The city needs to go in and fix it because it's asbestos. And at the end of the day, they need to go fix it. Yeah. So there's a lot of projects that we're working together with the city to help. Drainage, Senegas, the sewer line, and where the sewer line's gonna go. If we can work on it as they're doing it, to help with drainage also. Because a lot of this water ends up in precinct 4.
What size rain will that hold?
That one? We're looking into 100 years.
You can get a permit for a larger retention pond.
Well, in the conversation that I had with Frank a little while ago, or just earlier, is that we followed what the sports complex, what you had looked at when y'all went out for sports complex. We're not taking any more land than before. What I did tell him was that if we get the cities to halfway sign off on it, him halfway sign off on it, then we can go in there and calculate how much of his land over here we're going to pull out of it. And our belief is that
I don't pay Frank a dime for the property. You know, I don't think that we should pay him any money. Not saying anything that I haven't already told him. We shouldn't pay him any money because we're gonna develop something that he can't use anyway. And at the end of the day, we're gonna help him with the property he has over here, that is gonna be pulled out of the flood zone because of this. And we'll be able to use, when it's not raining, we can use those for practice fields or whatever, because Northern One is going to develop the 60 acres.
The only thing I would ask y'all to look at, and me and Carlos had this conversation, is some kind of diversion that allows us the ability, when this can't handle anymore, that we can divert part of that to the actual San Felipe Creek through a pumping system, that will equalize out that flow.
And we looked at it.
I know it's not cheap.
No, but the city's actually, they've hired ICE. They've got another retention system in the San Felipe Creek area. I want to bring that up because they haven't told the owners. But they do have another retention system. Before we create more of a mess because we're moving that water over there, they need to fix that area. One of the other things that we talked about, the flooding in San Felipe, since 2011, when we came in, and now since Commissioner Vasquez came in, we've had conversations with the flooding in San Felipe,
Rodriguez,
Chapoy, Bean Street. You know, it's one of those deals that you have a culvert where right before you get to Fort Show, it goes under 90, and then it goes under these railroad tracks, and then it hits Bean, and like you said, then it goes down to Rodriguez and Chapoy. We've talked about it, and I call them upside down streets, and they correct me, it's inverted street. But then they went in, after we had conversations since 2011, and since he's come in, they went in and paved them and then put more asphalt on top of the problem. So if they would quit paving the streets that the water's trying to run down, you wouldn't be channeling that water into the houses. That one house that you put sandbags and we put sandbags at, the Ron Rodriguez, they tore that house down and built a new house right there in the corner. Right. But that house is still going to flood. It's just, you know, but we talked about with the city, the water on 90, after it crosses 90, it goes under 90, it needs to be channeled to San Felipe Creek before it gets to the railroad tracks. And if you're leaving on 90 west, if you'll look, as soon as you cross San Felipe Creek, there's actually 2 retention systems there. They're going to have to be rebuilt and built bigger. But that's where you really need to take that water from the north side of 90. It needs to go along there. That way it doesn't go through Bean, and then Bean, Rodriguez, and Chapoy. And then those streets on Rodriguez and Chapoy need to be inverted streets.
How many houses are affected with that?
Oh, Jesus
Bean,
Christ.
Chapoy.
It's unreal. I don't know, a couple hundred?
at least a couple hundred homes.
That's an emergency situation.
Well, and
you still have the same issue going down Main Street, Airport Boulevard, all the way up through Veterans. You have the same issue on Kingsway. The way the roads are designed, they're not dumping the water into the ditches, they're dumping it down the middle of the street, flooding everybody out.
well, and I think that if we could get railroad to just give us an idea if it would be okay if the city would run in alongside the railroad tracks and run the water back towards San Felipe Creek, that would eliminate a lot of this flooding. Because after it quits raining, we're still catching water underneath 90 and going down Bean and Rodriguez 3, 4, 5 hours after it quit raining.
There's a lot of water there.
So, you know, that's all. Sorry. No action is needed on this. Since we'd had a meeting with the city, I thought it was important to explain where we're at. Anything else?
Thank you, Judge.
Okay. Item 38, discussion possible action to approve the officials' bonds for office. Have a motion, Commissioner Middleton. Second? Second. Commissioner Vasquez. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 39, discussion possible action, Poverty County Library to accept the donation.
Second.
Have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second, Commissioner Flores. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 40, discuss possible action on allowing the Sheriff's Department to use. Second. Have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second, Commissioner Flores. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Item 41, discuss possible action on approving a lease agreement between Holloway.
Motion to approve. Is there a fee on this or just, courtesy?
That needs to be part of your motion, whatever you want to do.
Make a motion to approve this with no fee included. It's Halloween.
Do we have a second? Do we have a second?
Second.
Commissioner Wardlaw. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 4-1. Item 42, discussion possible action on approving lease agreement between Sacred Heart and St. Jude Walkathon on behalf of Ana Morin, set for October 18th. I'm going to charge for St. Jude.
No.
No? Huh?
No.
Okay. Part of your motion?
No charge.
Okay, I have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second, Commissioner Vasquez. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Discussion possible action on approval or renewal of interlocal agreement between, for the joint participation in the countywide air ambulance membership in the amount of, thank you. We actually budgeted, for these funds already in our budget, so we're covered. Have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second, Commissioner Wardlaw. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. 44, discussion possible action on approval of workers' compensation. Motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second, Commissioner Vasquez. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. 45, discussion possible action on.
Motion to approve.
Well, on the Personal Policy Manual Committee, give us the members.
We have Commissioner Wardlaw, who's the chairman, and me, Matt, David Martinez, the sheriff, David Bond, librarian, Joanne Cervantes, and Lori from TAC.
The reason I put this on, I'd like to chair this committee, if you don't mind. I don't care who's on it, I just like to chair it.
I'll make that motion.
And keep the rest of the members? Yes, sir. Okay. I have a motion, Commissioner Wardlaw. Second, Commissioner Nettleton. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 46, discussion possible
Motion to
action.
approve.
I have a motion, Commissioner Flores, second, Commissioner Vasquez. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 47, discussion possible action.
Second.
Commissioner Nettleton, made the motion, Commissioner Flores, second. All those in favor? Aye. Item 48, closed session consultation pursuant to Texas Government Code A551.071.2, attorney-client privilege, B551.071.1, contemplated addition C551.072, regarding the purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property, and possible action on proceedings thereafter, B551.073, regarding negotiating contract, lease, or value of real property, and possible action on proceedings thereafter, E551.076, regarding security device, security officer, security personnel. Y'all will give us the room. We're going to take a little break, and then we'll come back in executive session. No, there it is. Court, come back in session. It's 8:03. No action was taken. We had two items tabled. One of them was item 10, letter C, IT transfer 49,000 from capital, whatever, for the library.
Second.
Have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second, Commissioner Flores. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Item 16, we tabled item 16 also, discussion possible action on an agreement for services for victims of domestic
I'll make a
violence.
motion to authorize the judge and David to look at renegotiating the agreement, and if not, to come up with a solution so that we can maintain the domestic violence, facility.
I have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second, Commissioner Wardlaw. All those in favor? Aye. Okay, let's go back to that. Item 49, commissioners' comments? None. Item 50, county judges' comments? None.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Have a motion to adjourn, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Flores. All those in favor? Aye. Anybody against? Motion carries 5-0. Thank y'all.